And we're back.
Oh.
Episode 6?
Yeah.
Seis.
Sex.
Seis.
Mm-hmm. So that's like 3 plus 3. That's a good 6 weeks.
Minus 1 because of the holiday break. But, of course, everybody needs a holiday break.
I'm remembering. Oh, yeah, that's like 7. But whatever. So then 7 weeks ago, I did my poor car. I just can remember like something eventful that happened each week, I think. Or I could just go back and listen to these shits. But
yeah, just listen to the first like 20 minutes of each.
Oh, you guys, I'm so tired. My back hurts. You know how when you sleep and then you just wake, I don't know, probably for me or probably because I'm old now.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like a quarter. My back has like, when you touch the, what is it? What are these sides called? Shoulders. There we go. The back part of your shoulders, my shoulders fucking hurt. Like they're just sore. And I feel like I sleep good. I be sleeping like that picture.
Gotta do some yoga.
With Meg on the bed and like a cat between her legs.
Yeah, I feel that too. Sometimes I'm like in between two cats, like Zach Galifianakis in between two ferns.
I'll wake up and I see Lula next to me, but like distant from me. But she's like sleeping on the same bed, acknowledging like, yeah, we're friends somewhat. Yeah. And when I get close to her, like to cuddle, and then I'll wake up, she's gone.
Yeah, that's kind of how my cats are too. Or
like,
they want to be friends. They want to cuddle for like 2 minutes, but then they're like, all right, I'm over this shit.
They're like, fuck off.
And go back to my corner.
Fuck off.
I'm like, whatever.
Whatever. So how was your weekend?
My weekend was good.
I feel like we got to start with that question.
Yeah. It was pretty standard.
What did you do?
I went to my mom's house, and I dropped my car off to get it fixed, and I traded it for my mom's car.
Oh, so were you driving?
2011 Kia Optima.
Well, isn't that an upgrade? Because how old is that car you be driving?
95. It's a classic.
I had a 97, my first car.
But it's a good, reliable car. But and I love it. But
I have to get it fixed. But
it's got some issues. It's old, you know. It's like an older person, you know.
Like
you got like a few issues.
27 years old, like damn.
Yeah.
You might need a new car.
Nah, not yet.
Yeah,
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. But yeah, so I did that and hung out with the fam, chilled, didn't do much, watched some football, throwback to like 8 years ago when I actually was into football. Not really into it anymore, but did that.
So straight.
Yeah.
Actually,
how about you?
Because I can actually go watch a game, but I need to watch it live. I can't. If I sit and watch it like TV, I'm just gonna be on my phone.
Yeah, I was kind of like that a little bit.
Oh, you're being a whore?
No, not like that. I was on my phone. You threw that in there at the last moment.
I didn't. I asked that before you said yeah. Anyways, well, damn. So what'd you do during your week? Anything spicy?
No, I didn't do anything this week. Just my car died and that was it.
Yeah, we had car issues. I don't know if we said that last week, but damn.
I think we might have. I don't even know when that was.
Honestly, I'm not gonna jinx it,
That's
but
Monday or something.
My car's good now. Like, and I'm also glad that I'll at least have money now. So if it does fuck up during this week or next week, I can just go get it fixed.
Yeah.
And not feel like I'm struggling again.
I just put that shit on my credit card and then just pay it off.
Oh, well, we all don't have perfect credit, Cody, because, you know, when we were younger, you may have not known what credit cards were going to be for. And maybe we got 6.
I'm glad that I had a good role models to look up to financially.
I got people calling me about where's my fucking money, and I don't know, bitch, because at one point it was in my account, and next thing you know, I was smoking it all.
Oh, jeez. It's in my lungs now.
It's in the air now. It's PEMDAS. Yeah. So, I mean,
your weekend. What happened? What'd you do?
Oh, you guys. They're back.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they're back, and I'm gonna smoke really fast. So join me with my dab. My dab cooked already. Sorry, I didn't give you a little.
Cooking over there. Psycho in the background.
Bro, your cat's spazzing out.
Daisy.
You guys, I'm smoking some, what is it, jet fuel. I love it. It's
nice.
Like gelato. I think it's jet fuel gelato. Oops. It's butter. Ooh, I was about to call.
Butter. I like butter. It's good on like toast and pancakes and waffles and shit like that. It's pretty good.
Actually, yeah, you may be joking, but it's a different type of butter, bitch. And first of all, second of all, actually, my friend's brother made weed toast or weed butter.
Yeah, I had some friends that have done that before.
Oh my god, I'm always right. I always feel like yeah, I call it and then I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. I'm just gonna move on and then we'll see what happens. That's exactly what happened. A fucking bitch ass hoe wanted to be like, oh, deuces, I'm gonna block you. Don't talk to me. Da, 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 da. I don't like you. Da, 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 da. I'm not trying to fuck you. Da, 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 da. Like, what the fuck? Okay. So then I was just doing me right and I was just living my life, going to work for like the last 7 months.
Yep.
Oh my god, I was so over it. Every day I was just literally, I think, playing like love songs. Not love songs, I say, but like I was playing Olivia Rodrigo, Adele. I was on that Paramore shit. I was just playing those good albums to just grieve all that shit out, and
damn,
I did what I had to, and I did do that. So
sounds like it. Olivia Rodrigo and Adele, you already know when you hear that it's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah.
I don't know, and I'm gonna probably play it on my way to work today or the new Weekend album, but whatever. Besides the point. Anyways, so just living my best life, and last week, maybe this is what I get for not following my New Year's resolution and staying off those apps, but
yeah, didn't work at all.
I mean, I don't know what I was doing or what my intentions were, but I knew when I made a new profile, all the people I had blocked were going to be unblocked.
Yeah, that's just a given.
So I told you guys, I don't know, I put a nice little pickup on my profile. I was getting all these messages, and next thing you know, I don't know why I had this sudden thought or urge of like my ex of like, oh my God, what if he sees my profile? Like, damn, I just got on, like just logged on, so I was going to show it to everyone. And I know he's always on because he's always on, and he was always on that shit. Anyways,
right.
He messages me, and he's talking about like, hey, how are you? Like, sheesh. What do you think, motherfucker? I'm good now that you're not here.
Oh, shit. Spicy.
And long story short, motherfucker was trying to get this cookie again. And after he didn't want the cookie, supposedly, before, playing hard to get. Now, honestly, it's more hard to want, and I'm sorry if you're listening to this, but I'm not. And you're not getting it, bitch. You're not getting it. You can't see Lula either. What was that?
Sorry, it's just a video.
Yeah, and I don't think it's good now. I think it got to that point where you get over someone and it's just like, nah, they don't do it for me anymore. Yeah. It was fun though because I was entertaining our messages, and I was like,
playing a little game.
I swapped nudes. I just sent one pic, and it was an old one that he had seen already. So I was like, yeah, and I told him send some, and he did. And he wanted some more, and I was like, no, you're not getting it. So I feel good. I feel like
game.
Yeah, I feel like I think I did what I needed to do.
Right.
I didn't cave. I almost did. I kind of did at first. I was like, sure, you can come over later. But I knew that it wasn't going to happen, because then by the time I got home, I was in bed. Yeah. I got high, and I played video games. Before, I would have just been like, come over. Yeah, fuck my day. Like, I don't have anything to do. Nah. I actually like my alone time now. Very much so. And
there's
before I didn't.
There's a little growth right there. Slowly but surely.
So for the bitches that think they can't do it, well, let me tell you, you can. Because I would see this man every fucking day, and for him to be like, we're just friends. Like, why are you acting like this, bitch? Don't do that. So that's how my week was. And I just worked more shifts at GoPuff, and good vibes. Chilled and made my money those 2 days to buy more drugs and food. Oh, fuck yeah.
Jesus, drugs and food, huh?
And it was so good. They loved my work ethic that today I got requested to work again with them later. So
there you go.
I'm going to do that later this week. And it's just hustling again this week. And crying and hustling and crying some more and smoking.
The grind don't stop.
Shitting and pissing, coming, and all that stuff.
Right. Okay. Well,
all that stuff that goes on during the week, right?
Normal week. Yeah, normal week.
Cody, what are we going to talk about today? What did I tell you?
Well, you wanted to talk about some things.
What did I bring up?
You wanted to talk about some things. I don't know. What did you bring up? Because I'm ready.
He's fully saying it's on me, which I agree.
It is, because I don't have anything this week, honestly.
I wasn't, like, on a witch hunt or anything. This literally just fell out the fucking sky for me.
Yeah.
I actually remember, too, what I want to talk about.
Okay.
The first one is the COVID. I don't know if it's true. I'm going to look up. I'm actually winging it right now. Oh, my God. Yeah. Take a dab. I'm high.
You're just getting your little treatment.
Let me tell you, I've been...
COVID treatment.
Exactly. That's kind of what we're leading into, you guys. Apparently... let me not axe this shit. Sativa is good for against COVID-19, SARS-19, whatever the fuck it is.
Scars.
I thought it was scars.
Scars? Jesus.
Omarion variant 2. Yeah, apparently sativa is good against COVID-19. Like, it protects you against that.
Nigella
It's crazy. Because I had low-key been telling this to everyone since the beginning. And at first, like, yeah, I was joking. But, I mean, I smoke every fucking day. Like, my poor lungs honestly don't get a break. Yeah. And, damn, I still have some juice in there. Reheating. Anyways, so, yeah, if you smoke sativa and you haven't gotten sick, maybe that's because you're a bad bitch. And there's probably... some cannabis compounds that can stop that, and we're gonna look into that. Did you have the fucking article or no?
Well, I was looking it up, but it's a scientific thing, so it's kind
that's why. So science is real, Cody. If you haven't noticed,
was also shorter for patients receiving NSO. So basically, what this is a Science Direct article that's labeled Nigella sativa for the treatment of COVID-19, an open-label randomized control clinical trial.
Who's the article from?
There's a lot of different names that are cited under this.
Nah, but where's the article?
ScienceDirect.com.
The Economic Times. Oh, Science Direct.
Yeah, so this looks like to be some type of academic journal or something. Herbal medicine with antiviral. Okay, so
I see it.
So Nigella sativa oil must just be some type of cannabinoid-derived product or something. Just look it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, it just says right here, supplementation was associated with faster recovery of symptoms than usual care alone for patients with mild COVID-19 infection. These potential therapeutic benefits require further exploration with placebo-controlled double-blinded study.
So it's also known as black seed oil. So it comes from a plant. I don't even know if this is...
Yeah, marijuana's a plant.
Well, yeah, but it hasn't even stated. Black seed oil is pressed from the seeds of a flowering shrub, Nigella sativa. So I'm going to look up a picture of Nigella sativa just to make sure that it's... I mean, it has the word sativa in it. Fennel flower.
Yeah, I mean, all I know is...
So...
I think it has to do with those terpenes in it, too, so it makes sense that it's coming from a plant.
No, so this is not... It's not marijuana, no.
What the fuck?
I mean...
Well, I mean, because...
Look up Nigella sativa and look at a picture of it. It's like a flowering shrub. Looks really interesting, but it's not marijuana.
Okay, I'm not going to look like a fucking noob or anything, but...
No, I mean, I would have thought it was, too, because there's the word sativa in it, but it's a different type of plant. And it's the same as black seed oil. But... I mean, so what this article is saying, though, this is interesting, is the percentage of recovered patients in NSO group was significantly higher than in the control group, 62% versus 36%. So, it's almost double, little less than double. And the mean duration to recovery was also shorter for patients receiving NSO, which was about 3.2 days versus 2.8 days for the control group. So it made you recover a little quick.
Yeah, so about all that weed stuff, I don't know how to explain it, but like it's connected to the cannabis. I don't I'm gonna sound so fucking high right now, but there's like terpenes and stuff that goes into the weed, or that is part of the weed. And that's what gives you the effects and the herbal benefits of smoking marijuana. Mm-hmm. So, like, this one is good for anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, I know it's good for inflammation,
cardiovascular, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So and this is upper respiratory, which look, that's all the COVID symptoms too.
Yeah, right.
Together. So me, I mean, I'm pretty sure when I was sick, but I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. My chest wasn't hurting, none of that. I was smoking. I really was. I was probably smoking hybrids, but I still get sativas more than indicas. Yeah. I think I was good, and I'm not a scientist or anything, but damn, there's my testimony.
Well, when I first got COVID, I was smoking still, and so I was smoking like the whole time, and I don't know, I didn't really notice the effect. It just made me think more about like how shitty I felt, really.
Yeah, because weed's always more mental for me. Weren't because I wasn't around you.
Yeah. So, and I was really fucking sick. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't really.
I slept more, and I can't really say anything about it. I slept that shit out, and maybe because I was in my weed comas, but it was doing its work.
Right.
So there you guys go.
Well, that could be a positive effect. Yeah, just put you to sleep so that you don't think about it. I'm just
kidding. I don't want to be spreading misinformation. That's not what we're here to do.
Right. Well, it's all open to interpretation, I guess.
Really. We don't want to be like other people on this platform.
All right. So are we done with that segment or what?
I mean, yeah. I just wanted to inform the good people that
it might
if
be
you smoke weed and stuff, you're good.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, because I don't want to be like, oh, yo, it does for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
But
like, I'm not going to take horse medicine.
Nigella sativa or whatever, that black seed oil.
Vermectin, right?
It's shown to help. So, I mean, if you're looking for another treatment.
Yeah, if you're looking for treatment, deadass, just go to the dispensary, ask for whatever sativa
I don't think that's what I was saying, really, but
literally smoke sativa, bitches.
Yeah, but if you have COVID and you go asking for treatment, they're gonna be like, "Why the fuck are you here? You have COVID."
Online, I think you can go online. I swear, I was looking into getting a rec, deadass, and they said for COVID-19 and marijuana, getting a card, you can do that tele-doctor shit. So you wouldn't go in person, Cody. Right. We're not all selfish.
You were just saying. Right, whatever. I'm super selfish, if you haven't come to find out.
Yeah, because you're not vaccinated.
Yeah, super fucking selfish.
I'm just probing. I'm sorry.
Okay. So what's next? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, yeah. What were we going to talk about? That the smart people of the world. How many, Cody? 270. Physicians and scientists are calling out your uncle. Why are they calling out your uncle? You want to explain to me?
No, why are they? Please.
Okay, expand. So apparently, I didn't read this article, but I'm going to read it right now while we're talking about this because I know you got some things to say, which I don't agree with because...
Which article
Okay, first of all, I'm on Rolling Stone.
Okay, so...
I went to the one you
Well, after you read this, I'll just say something about Rolling Stone because, they've known...
And I'll go to a different one, too.
I don't
have to
lie
stay Rolling Stone because
past,
everyone is kind of agreeing with
So anyways, what 270 doctors, physicians, scientists, what?
Yeah, they're just calling out Uncle Joe because... he's like spreading misinformation, or I guess he also had someone that was banned on Twitter in the past for spreading a lot of misinformation about COVID-19.
Sure.
And I think one of the scientists...
Robert Malone. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So apparently Robert Malone was the guy on the thing or whatever. Rivera was one of the people that is... complaining about it, about the misinformation, that she was like shocked that when she saw the interview there was more stuff being thrown saying that mass because I don't want to
mass formation psychosis.
Yeah.
Yep. This is something that I want to get into because this is a really interesting conversation from your background.
That's what I was reading about. I don't know. I should when she watched the interview, I'm just reading from this, and I guess we'll link the article.
Yeah,
because I don't want to get plagiarism or whatever. When she watched the interview, she was horrified to see that he espoused various conspiracy theories. Yeah. No, conspiratorial.
Conspiratorial.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh my god.
Wow. College education paying off. Good here.
Wait, let's go again. Conspiratorial.
There you go.
Damn.
Just walk you through it. Yep. Syllable by syllable.
Baseless beliefs from the idea that mass formation psychosis is responsible for people believing in the efficacy of vaccines to the claim popular among anti-vaxxers that hospitals are financially incentivized to falsely diagnose
which is not false.
COVID-19 deaths.
Yeah.
So hospitals do that. They get paid for that.
Yeah, they do get paid extra. It's very well known. So the fact that they would say that that's false is just ridiculous.
You think all the so
I'm not saying that they all do it purposefully to get that money, but I mean it's for sure known that I have if we want to go to that first we can. So USA Today article, a Senator Scott Jensen from Minnesota, a physician in Minnesota said, and I quote, hospital administrators might well want to see COVID-19 attached to a discharge summary for a death certificate. Why? Because it's a straightforward garden variety pneumonia that a person is admitted to the hospital for. If they're Medicare, typically the diagnosis-related group lump sum payment would be $5,000. But if it's COVID-19 pneumonia, it's $13,000, so almost 3 times the amount. And if that COVID-19 pneumonia patient ends up on a ventilator, it goes up to $39,000, almost $40,000. So by stating that it's a COVID-related instance, they instantly get 3 times the amount of money.
Has something, and then they happen to have COVID too. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, but if COVID is not, if it plays no part in why they're in the hospital, like if you come in with a broken leg, and then someone says that you have COVID, so that's why you're in the hospital. But they're treating.
But they're going to be there for COVID then eventually. Anyways.
Why would they? No, they don't, because they send you home when you get COVID. That they never treated people for COVID. They sent you home and told you to write it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Or they put you on ventilators in the beginning, which killed tons of people. We now know. I mean, ventilators, your body stops working for itself when you get put on a ventilator. So that's worst case scenario. But they were making 8 times the amount of money to put somebody on a ventilator. Mm-hmm. So you got to think about it from this aspect, right? In the beginning of COVID, and I'm not saying that this is like for sure, but this is what my mind goes to. In the beginning of COVID, right? They're saying everybody should stay home, social distance, all this stuff. So people aren't going to hospitals for most things. They're just staying home. So these hospitals are losing money because they're used to having patients coming in more often, getting money from them. Now they don't. So now every time a patient does come in, they are incentivized to link it to COVID no matter what, because they get more money for it. They need more money because they don't have the regular amount of people coming in because people are staying home. So they link as many things to COVID as they can. So this is where it's interesting because, everybody wants to talk about data, and this is what the data says. The data can be all not all falsified, but like inflamed with the amount of people that came in for COVID and all this type of stuff because these people are saying that they're there in the hospital primarily for COVID when they could not be. And I'm not saying this is true or false. This is where my mind goes to when I think about it, because it's like, it's just logical. If you have a hospital you have doctors that need to be paid, and if you start to not be able to pay them their salaries and you're making less money to keep the hospital running, then you have to do whatever it takes to get money to keep the hospital running. So you link everyone that's there to COVID, then that fucks up all the numbers for the data. I don't know. So that's I mean, I'm not saying that is what they did, but it's for sure known that they get more money for tying someone to COVID in a hospital. So that's false on Rolling Stone. And Rolling Stone, you can't trust Rolling Stone anyways. I mean, they already lied about people in Oklahoma hospital being overwhelmed with ivermectin overdoses, so overwhelmed that gunshot victims weren't able to be treated. It was a completely fabricated story. Completely fucking fabricated.
Where is it? If I look it up, what's it called? Ivermectin.
I have a USA Today article about it. They changed the headline now. They changed it now, so it's different.
What do you mean?
But the original headline was gunshot victims left waiting as horse dewormer overdoses overwhelm Oklahoma hospitals, doctors say. And I mean, this was talked about a lot on Joe Rogan podcast, of course, because it was tied to him, because the horse dewormer narrative was all tied to him in the first place, because CNN.
He brought it up.
Well, yeah, but it was one of the 12 or 15 things that was in the list
talking
of things
about
that he was being treated
I got
about.
better because I took such and such.
So,
but hey, don't link that to me now.
Well, but he did get better in like 2 days, but people don't want to talk about that part, which is interesting. People don't care about people getting better. They don't care about people being more healthy. They don't give a fuck. They just want to fucking shut people down that are on the wrong side of the narrative. It's unfortunate.
So he did
because,
take ivermectin.
Yeah, among like 12 other things, though. And they focused in on one thing. It's just really interesting because they can create a narrative out of it.
But that is horse dewormer, so he did.
It's one of the most. It's one of the most prescribed medicines in human history. The guy that created it literally won a Nobel Prize because it completely eradicated river blindness in Africa. So, I mean, say what you will about it. I mean, this is a little conspiratorial, but I also think that the reason that they didn't want to promote ivermectin is because you can't make money off of it. You can't create a patent off of it. It costs like 50 cents per dose.
I don't think so. I think we're not supposed to be taking that.
Not the horse version, obviously, but there's a version for people.
But even the FDA posted why you shouldn't use it to prevent or treat COVID-19.
Well, yeah, but the FDA's credibility is, I don't know about that anymore nowadays. I mean, all these fucking institutions are, it's sad, but they're not as trustable as they used to be, unfortunately. So you can't really trust anything that they say. But the main point is Rolling Stones in the past just completely botched the whole story and just inflamed the whole thing. They had to go back on everything and change everything in the story because it was completely untrue. They used a picture of people in winter coats when the story was like in July in the middle of summer in Oklahoma. So it's like this story was complete. So the fact that Rolling Stones that would pass through their whole chain of command and actually get published just goes to show that their credibility is a little shaky at the least.
Okay, so I don't know.
But this was a good article. I mean, they have a lot of good sources and everything. The one about Joe Rogan and all that.
Yeah,
it was a good article to read to get the backstory of everything.
Oh yeah, all I know is another thing the bitch said was the Malone segment is far from the first time Rogan has been accused of platforming misinformation on his podcast. In an April 23, 2021 episode, he says he discouraged young people from getting the vaccine, saying in a conversation, if you're 21 years old and you say to me, should I get vaccinated? I'll go, no.
Okay.
Why? I don't
That's his opinion. What do you mean, why?
You're a young, strong
He's not allowed to have an opinion?
That's dumb, though, and that goes back to how he thinks anyways, and how his
lifestyle it's his show.
Whatever, it's dumb.
It's his show.
Because you should still get vaccinated.
Yeah, but you telling someone that you should get vaccinated is just the same thing as him telling someone that you shouldn't get vaccinated.
No,
it's just
because
the narrative.
I'm not being
You
selfish.
fall on the right side of the narrative, though. You think you're not being selfish, but you tell someone to get vaccinated, then they come down with some crazy health risk.
No.
Like they get put in a wheelchair, they're disabled or something.
That I've been
That's on
coming
you.
across, honestly, even yesterday, a lot of people aren't vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring their points talking about they don't know what's in the vaccine. And I agree with them. I'm like, oh, well, I got it just because, I wanted to go out to places that required it. And I honestly really did not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm consider myself a pretty healthy person to a certain extent. I could eat better. But to not get sick and stuff, I don't know. I thought it was worth it. I don't think I've experienced like bad, really horrible fucking symptoms like people have gotten. Like I've never lost my taste. I've never lost my smell.
That just sucks.
I'm just glad I got vaccinated for that reason. I didn't want to get sick like that, and I didn't. I haven't till this day. I seen my negative test. I still haven't gotten COVID.
And that's great. That's your choice to make, But I think it
but for people to be so frightened and all this shit, I don't know.
I see what you're saying. Sure. I see what you're saying, but I think people should have the full size of the story. Like, it's not a one size fits all. Whenever in like the history of humans has there been one cure that fits for every person's body type and every person's biology? Like, it just doesn't make sense. And the fact that they just want to promote this as the one size fits all, it doesn't, unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean, well, the whole point of the thing was, anyways, that the scientists are just calling him out that he's just spreading all types of bullshit. They think that's all types of bullshit. I don't know. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
What we all got our opinions, but some are right and obviously some are wrong. And they just want Spotify, and because they're also calling out Spotify too, not just him. And they're calling Spotify out for allowing it and not really putting a public policy on their fucking guidelines or whatever.
Yeah.
On the website, staying like not allowing misinformation on their platform. So like anyone, not just Joe Rogan, would also, I guess, be censored in a way to not spread fucking lies. But which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think it is.
But spreading lies is subjective now. I'm like, this is the thing. Here's the argument, right?
Okay, go.
The misinformation thing, you can say that, but I think that when you start limiting people's speech, you while you do, there are some things that do need to be limited. You lose out on some other things that are actually right, but they get shoved under the rug, and they could have been.
But what do you mean? Like, what lie could be fucking correct?
A good one was the narrative of the lab leak, which is now pretty widely accepted among everybody. But a year ago, you could not talk about the lab leak at all. It was completely censored. Of COVID, COVID being leaked out of the lab in China rather than being a natural jump from a pangolin or whatever it was. It's now widely regarded as highly likely that that's actually what happened. But nobody was able to talk about that in the past because you were being censored. People's videos are being taken down. Podcasts are being taken down.
That it was a leak?
Yeah. When people wanted to talk about this idea that it could have leaked from a lab, you couldn't even talk about that idea.
What do you mean, like leaked from like someone slipped, like they had COVID?
So you don't know any? So
like, I'm dead ass explaining that.
COVID was part of the gain of function research. So they get this virus, they bring it into a Wuhan lab, a lab that's in Wuhan, level 4 biological lab, and a gain of function is basically beefing up viruses to make them more spreadable and a lot of different things to start to create cures to have them ready, which is great and all, but you have to have really high security at that lab because if it leaks out, like what is highly likely happened in Wuhan, then it spreads like wildfire among people because you've beefed it up to have these factors that make it more easily spreadable, affect people a lot differently. So this was a huge thing, right? But people were being censored.
People saying was the opposite, like what happened supposedly.
So the main narrative at that time was that it was from the wet market. Do you remember the whole wet market thing?
No.
You never even got into this?
Bruh, no.
So the main narrative was the Wuhan, there's a wet market where there's all different type. They eat everything over there. Snakes, bats, everything. So you remember the bat thing? It jumped from a bat. Okay. Somebody ate a bat and it jumped from a pangolin.
Yeah, but that's literally from a movie too. So
No, exactly. And that was the main narrative. I watched a Vox video about it. I mean, that was like everybody was talking about it like that. So that was the narrative, but people wanted to know about this level 4 lab that was in Wuhan, and they were like, "Well, we can't even like figure out what happened here." And then all these weird things started happening. I don't know the exacts of this story, but there was like a huge data, like they erased a shit ton of data, like a couple days before they told the United States about it, so that they hid all this data, and there was a lot of weird things that are going on, but you could not talk about it on mainstream platforms like YouTube, Twitter, all this stuff, because you would get censored for that. But then when the narrative changed, that was actually right. So if you gave if you give these people the power to censor stuff like that, when that's actually highly likely that story is right, but they censor you and tell you, no, you don't ever get the truth. You don't ever get the truth. You're just stuck in the dark on that. So that's what I'm saying about things that, you could be right about censoring certain things like hate speech and all this stuff. Like, sure, I think that's maybe there's a argument.
No,
for
that should be
censorship
censored, bitch. Hate speech should be censored in general.
But hate speech, it becomes subjective. It's muddy water, though.
No. Because anything that's hate or promotes hate or incites or whatever the fuck towards someone, a group, or whatever the fuck, that's not something that should be allowed. I think that's...
What about like sarcasm?
Be given a platform. Yeah.
Sarcasm.
What do you mean? Why would sarcasm even be...
You can't
be sarcastic in a hateful way because you're actually fucking being hateful. Oh, you're just kidding? Yep. No, because if you're just kidding about something... So
if I'm sarcastic to you about your sexuality and I say something that would be taken offensive in other people that maybe I wasn't friends with, but that I'm sarcastic about it. But through text, like if I say that on Twitter to you and somebody reads that, they're like, what the fuck? But they don't know that I'm being sarcastic because we're actually friends. Then I get marked for hate speech on that when that actually wasn't hate speech.
The context would have to be there too anyways. Like obviously to be going back and forth in a sarcastic manner anyways, because I also, in my personal friend groups, I don't allow it. Like I don't allow that shit with them, and they know it too. So if you were like sarcasm shit towards my sexuality, because while I don't care, obviously noted. I don't. But also, it's like saying like it's okay. Like you know, if I joke about it and it's like, okay, you're there. Yeah, you can joke about it too because it's funny. But in the normal manner, to be like, oh no, bitch, don't do that.
Right.
Because I think at the end of the day, it's also being in that ally type shit. So, also, I guess if it's like an ally thing, yeah, you could be like, oh, yeah, I'll let you say. But that goes back even to, like, for an example with other people saying, oh, yeah, because my friend is so-and-so, I can say this. Or, no,
but it's all contextual.
Because even then, if that person's not your friend or something, and then they say it, then you're going to feel some type of way. So, I think, for me, right from the get-go, it's like, it depends.
Yeah, but I think you lose, but... my argument still stands.
It's the sarcasm.
If I'm being sarcastic with you, Twitter, whoever's at Twitter and decides that that's hate speech, doesn't understand that I was being sarcastic about it. So now you can't be funny. You can't be sarcastic.
Well, no, I think you have to be smart about it too, of where you're doing it. Not just because, okay, so like on Twitter, not to be like, yeah, everyone does have a social media footprint or whatever, and what you say is like how you're perceived and all that, obviously, but. For me, like me, okay, I am like, okay, I hate white people, blah blah blah. Like I'll say it in person, I will say that shit online.
Why is that not hate speech?
Okay, and honestly, it can be considered because I'm being a certain way. I'm not saying racist because at the end of the day, I'm not racist towards white people because they hold more power than me, a brown Hispanic person.
But that statement, if you just put it in quotes, is racist though. If you remove all the context and you say, I hate white people, Andres Beltran. That's a racist statement if you remove all the context, though.
No, because white people, at the end of the day, hold more power than any
the
fucking group.
The power dynamics thing is a whole different conversation, and that's up in the air, okay?
Well, that's what I'm going based on, and I'm not saying you're wrong or anything. But you're kind of wrong, bitch, because...
Well, that's a different conversation. I know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is the context argument.
Regardless, no sarcasm. I don't think sarcasm is a good thing. Like I totally think that's something that is going to be like a hater thing, because even if you're I know sometimes when I'm being sarcastic for some things, it's giving off a little hater. Anyone that's like that. There's
not me. Sarcasm is like how I really define who my true friends are. If I'm sarcastic as fuck with you, then like we're pretty good friends, I would like to think.
Yes.
That's the way that I communicate.
Yes and no. But if you're doing it to random people and stuff, like being sarcastic,
well, obviously.
That's hateful stuff, though. So, like,
that's subjective.
To do it online and all that stuff, I don't think being sarcastic online is a good idea. I think everyone should be, like, very straightforward online.
Well, that's just what you think, though. And, you know, we're all human. We're all subjective to being wrong. We're all subjective to being right.
Face palming right now. I think that's how you say it. Heavy right now, guys, because...
I think with censorship, you lose more than you gain. You do. You lose more than you gain. You might gain some things, but you lose a lot of ideas that hold merit. You know, you're better off having dialogue and discussions and debates about these ideas to really figure out... And not just dialogues and debates with a bunch of idiots that don't actually know anything about the story. They just get second or third hand information. I mean dialogues and debates between actual smart people on both sides of the things, and then making your decision based off of that. You know, just shutting people's ideas down is just, I just don't think that's right. I mean, you have to, that's never been the right way to do things. And that's where censorship has led to worse things like mass formation and all that stuff.
Okay, yeah, like I'm all for putting your opinion and stuff, but you also need to have a ton of fucking facts, and you need to have your own fucking research. You can't just be saying, oh, I took horsey worm, I'm fine, go probably fucking do it or don't do it.
I agree.
Or don't get fucking vaccinated because XYZ. He doesn't know either, you know, like no one fucking knows, but at the end of the day, I think.
But he has all these doctors and stuff on his like podcast and where he's getting this information from.
Yeah, but also those people aren't even considered like, how do I?
No, they are.
No, like that Malone guy. The Malone guy too. Let me see if I found something.
He created RNA.
Talking about mass formation.
He was part
psychosis,
of creating
him,
RNA.
Right?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Let's talk about mass formation. I'm ready to have this conversation because this is very interesting.
Because mass formation psychosis is just another way of saying some other stuff. But go.
the way that totalitarian thinking gets structured. It's a way. Okay, so do you know anything about it?
I was reading an article.
So I got a lot of notes about this. Okay, so I'll read. So I watched a video. It's the video that I sent you.
Yeah.
Explained by Matthias Desmet. I might be butchering that, but he is a lecturing professor of clinical psychology at Ghent University in Belgium, and he also has a master's degree in statistics. And during this whole COVID thing and like modern times, he's transitioned into sort of specializing in the mechanisms of mass formation and totalitarianism thinking. So to define it, to start off, mass formation, also known as crowd or mob psychology, it's the study of how individual behavior is influenced by large groups of people. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's defined in an article on medium.com also, if anybody cares. But you can look it up for yourself. So Matthias's argument, so he starts off with labeling the 4 things that need to exist for large-scale mass formation. So you know what it is now. It's a study of how individual behavior is influenced by large groups of people. So how do that large group of people become and start thinking the way that they do? So there have to be 4 things that exist. First is a large group of socially isolated people expending a lack of social bond. So obviously that happened with COVID, self-isolation and all that. Second is a lack of sense-making in life. Third is a free-floating anxiety, which I think we all can admit is definitely in the air. Fourth is free-floating discontent. So the last 3 are ones that have existed before COVID, for sure. Lack of sense-making in life. People don't have a direction in their life. A lot of people are wondering what's going on. So his example for this was, before the pandemic, there was a burnout of people experiencing their jobs as completely senseless. 40 to 70% of people having this experience. That was a statistic given by a Harvard professor from a book that he wrote. I don't know the exact book, but you can look it up if you really want to. But I mean, I think we can both admit to this. We've both been in jobs where it's like you're just there at the job and you don't see a real path at this job. You're just there for the moment or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's a very real thing, and it's definitely among a lot of people in the society, for sure. And another thing is there's a huge use of pharmaceutical substances among the population. I think this is very well known, too, and this is another thing that he states. So I have some facts. More than 37 million Americans take antidepressants. That's a huge one. Why would people have to take antidepressants? Obviously, there's something going on in society, and I'm not here to stipulate what that is or what that isn't. And also, about 66% of U.S. adults take prescription drugs. So that's a more wide variety of prescription drugs. 66% of the population. So what makes people – it doesn't matter what makes people need to take these drugs and what the mechanisms are in society that brings this type of things about. Rather, it is the fact that this is the reality. 66% of adults are on prescription drugs. 40 to 70% of people don't see any meaning in their life, in their jobs.
Bro, that's literally just how life is, and it's –
but that's not how it's always been. That's not how it's always been. Yes, it has,
though. And it started progressing even more. If so, it's because people became aware of that shit, self-aware, and they started calling out their mental health, not just fucking disregarding it or saying these things don't exist or, oh, shit, I'll just be fucking happy. No. Literally, even waking up today, getting ready today, I was like, damn, I don't want to get out of bed. I'm just going to push this shit off to the side and probably call it a fucking day and go to work. Honestly, and just get high, give myself some fucking serotonin. But I said, damn, let me just give myself something more than just doing the regular schmegular. Let me go throw in something, do a fucking podcast, clean a little bit. And I'm glad I did that, because if I didn't, oh damn, I would have been marinating in my own fucking shit.
No, I feel you. That's how I am too when I don't do anything throughout the day. I just lay in bed at night and I'm like, man, all these things I could have done.
That literally comes with all that things of fucking adulthood that young people don't fucking know. They're not even fucking taught, obviously. Like, everyone realizes all this shit, like, late as fuck. And maybe they don't. Maybe they have a good life. Maybe everything's fine for them and they don't have to think about shit that people think about.
I think that there has to be some facts or some numbers, some statistics brought up about if this has always been prevalent. I don't think this has always been as prevalent as it is.
His argument of the mass psychosis stuff is the same thing as mob mentality. And that's not anything. Yeah, but that's not anything that like people agree with. like psychologists at least. It's a discredited
This goes
concept.
back to Freud. I mean, there's lots of people that have talked about this. Okay, but I'm only halfway through the information that I have, though. So just remember the 4 things: large group of socially isolated people, which happened at the beginning of COVID, social isolation, a lack of sense-making life, free-floating anxiety, and free-floating discontent. Those 3 things have always been prevalent throughout society, who knows? For sure, throughout the past, 15, 20 years, for sure. These 4 conditions put society at a high risk of a mass formation event, which a mass formation event basically leads into a totalitarian government in some sense, a totalitarian group of people leading everyone. So Matthias explains that free-floating anxiety is an extremely painful and uncomfortable psychological phenomenon for people. He said that it was one of the most painful and uncomfortable psychological phenomenons for people. In this scenario, people are looking for any solution and explanation for their anxiety. They're looking to tie their anxiety to something and some type of cause to make them escape this anxiety, give their life some meaning or something. COVID becomes that thing that people's anxiety is tied to through, the media and everything. They talk about COVID all the time, so it's always in front of people's faces. And then the mass media and the leadership promote solutions such as social distancing, masking, and ultimately vaccination. So those become the mechanisms for the mass formation to really come together. So people come behind these ideas and they tie themselves to this ideology of everybody has to get vaccinated, all these different things. So much so that they devote their entire identity to solving this issue, not caring about what they might lose in the process. So you could have lies being told by people that are at the head of this. You could have misinformation being spreaded by people, but as long as they're on the right side of the narrative, it doesn't matter. Another thing that he remarked was, I have a spelling error. Mass formation is basically hypnosis. It's the same thing. You're in a state of hypnosis. Have you ever seen videos of people in hypnosis?
Yeah, but okay, yes.
You're just
people in hypnosis
doing what's said to you, unaware of everything else that's going on around you. This has been said by multiple people that have studied mass formation in the past. This isn't just this Matthias guy. He's just a guy that's connected to it because he's the one that's connected it to more modern day things that are going on. So people are in this state of hypnosis. So even if the narrative that they're behind is blatantly wrong and they're being blatantly lied to and deceived, it doesn't matter. They still follow along because they don't want to go back to the sense of free-floating anxiety that they felt before. Now their life has a purpose. They're behind this narrative of we need to do this, and they don't care if they're being lied to or whatever. They just do not want to go back to that free-floating anxiety and the sense of lack of life purpose and all that stuff. They don't want to go back. So they're tied to this idea so strongly because it's keeping them away from focusing on the free-floating anxiety and the stuff that was happening before. It becomes their identity. So the whole ideology becomes their identity. And this is basically, all of this is basically leads into the mass formation. So his argument is this is the mechanism that allows for the mass formation. And then all these people get behind it. Totalitarianism is birthed from that, basically. So authoritarian rule is birthed from that. Dictatorships are birthed from that. And examples, I want to do more research on the past examples that have happened. Nazi Germany, that's a big one. That was mass formation, and people have studied it and found these same mechanisms in that. Also, the Soviet Union, which was a terrible one, that people don't talk about as much because the Nazis were more prevalent of a thing. But those are basically the same mechanisms existed in those situations. A large group of socially isolated people that have a lack of social bond, a lack of sense-making life, free-floating anxiety, and free-floating discontent. All of these things were prevalent in Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, and they're now prevalent now. We all know what happened in Nazi Germany. You know, how many millions of people were killed, murdered, genocide, complete genocide. Soviet Union was the same thing. Huge genocide. People don't talk about it. Probably 6 to 10 million people, literally adults were eating their own children because they were starving to death. It was terrible. And But the people were so blinded and in a state of hypnosis that they were on the right side of history that they didn't even see all these crazy things going on around them. So I'm not saying that this is what's happening right now in this moment, but this guy basically is making the connections to things that have happened in the past in different parts of society, in the past examples of mass formation, and he's connecting them to what's going on right now and saying, you know, I'm not saying for sure that this is what's going to happen and this could lead to a genocide or anything like that, but in the past, this has been exactly what has happened and led to these types of events. So that's mass formation for you. So I want to know, I mean, when you hear all these things, right, from your background in sociology or whatever your exact field of study is, I think that, I mean, you hear these things and it makes a lot of sense. Kind of.
I mean, yes and no, because, for example, the whole vaccine thing, I think people should be vaccinated, blah, 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 whatever. I think people know where I stand with that. But also people thinking for themselves. I know I think for myself, and that's why I did take that fucking vaccine. I wanted to take that vaccine. It wasn't because someone was telling me, oh, you're going to be better. Oh, it's going to cure all this shit. No, It was because my logic from vaccines, from taking vaccines in the past or from getting them when I was, fucking little, was that, hey, I'm going to get better or it's going to prevent a fucking disease or something. And thus far, it hasn't fucking failed me. Yeah. So I don't think that was the case at all with everyone in this pandemic situation. I don't think people were like, oh, yeah, I don't know what a vaccine is, but people are saying that it's good and that people should take it and we'll all get better and there's not going to be any deaths. No, I don't think it was like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to do it and inject myself. No, I think people realize like vaccines have been around since a good long time. I don't know. I haven't done the research, but I know that for sure.
Yeah, and they've saved been millions. Around. They've saved millions of lives.
So it wasn't a thing where this whole like the 4 things that you said led up to people saying, "Oh, get vaccinated because oh you're a piece of shit XYZ," or it's my life's goal to make sure that everyone on this planet is vaccinated because that's what people are saying to get us through this pandemic. I don't think it's that. I think in the beginning, it was just we keep our distance, wear our masks, and eventually, wait for that cure. And we did wait for that cure, but we waited a long time. And from the beginning, people have been fucking stubborn and never actually committed to doing any of those things because some had to work. Some had to fucking, I don't know, still go out for whatever reason. I know I was literally... a couple of days later, I think probably the next day, I was still delivering groceries for people in the pandemic. I was coming across all that stuff.
Yep.
So to be like, to be saying like, oh, people's lives being in the shambles or having shitty mental health and all that is a reason for them to even say that, oh yeah, that's why everyone's saying go get vaccinated, or all this COVID nonsense agenda that there is going on the both sides. That I don't think that's why people are doing all this, honestly. I think it's just people wanted everyone to get better so no one else would die, or there wouldn't be any more deaths if there were any, or no more people would get sick. That was just the whole point. That's why people want to get vaccinated.
Sure.
That's what I think about it. I don't think it has anything to do with with those 4 things. Like, I know for me, those 4 things do apply, but I don't sit myself around here being like, oh, please go get vaccinated. Like, if you don't get vaccinated, do whatever. Like, I've met a lot of people that do not get vaccinated, even yesterday. That's cool. I told them, you know what? Good for you, because at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to happen anyways. I got vaccinated. Shit, I could drop dead like in a couple hours or something.
Right.
Shit, or they could for not getting vaccinated. You never know. Besides the point.
So people should be able to make their own decisions about it.
I mean, I literally said that in the beginning. I made my own choice. Right. That's the whole point of this. The mass psychosis thing doesn't apply when people are making their own choices. People are making their own choices. He is stating that people are not making their own choices because of those 4 things. However, I literally had those, or what? Please explain really fast the 4 things again.
Yeah, so the 4 things are a large group of socially isolated people, which was very straightforward in the beginning. Yes. They were socially isolating people. A lack of sense-making in life.
3rd.
Free-floating anxiety and free-floating discontent.
That was the 4th one?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So when the pandemic came, I I was so happy because for me, everything just felt like it was on pause. That was for me. I'm pretty sure a lot of people felt like that, but I don't think it was a thing where it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do with this whole COVID shit and start a whole agenda thing of it and make people feel bad for not being vaccinated. I don't think it was that. I think a lot of people saw it as a way of doing something new with their lives. Pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
For him to, and it's also hypocritical because he was saying that he made the mRNA vaccine or whatever.
He was a part of it. He was a part of contributing for sure. He was. I mean, if you listen to the podcast, he lists it.
Yeah, but I think he was saying that he was like the main guy.
I don't know exactly. I mean, you just have to go back and listen to it, I guess, for yourself if you want to.
He says right here, his Twitter bio says, I literally invented mRNA technology when I was 28. Mm-hmm. Says Malone, who is now 61. So for him to be like backpedaling on that just says a lot too to his credibility, talking about, oh, it's mass psychosis that's going on, but which is a lot of psychologists, and I'm reading this from the MedPage Today one, where one motherfucking homeboy says something about the Malone guy. The concept of a mass psychosis is more metaphor than science, more ideology than fact, said Stephen Reicher. Oh my god, I hope I said that right. PhD professor of social psychology at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland, who has studied crowd psychology for more than 40 years. It has been totally discredited by contemporary work on groups and crowds. Telling people who disagree with you that they are deluded and in a state of psychosis is essentially a device to silence them and a form of disrespect. It's literally, he's doing the same thing that he thinks is being done to him, but doing it to people that believe in like all that vaccine shit, which I see like that's always going to be the thing, is going to be a back and forth thing. So I don't.
Okay, but my thing with bringing this up was, those are the two main things that these 270 doctors listed were the biggest conspiracy theories or whatever that you want to say. I guess mass formation psychosis is a little bit more conspiratorial, but there's been proven examples in the past. It's
discredited though, and it's been discredited by other psychologists.
Nazi Germany, Soviet Union, and now
everything was all shut down because of people free thinking for them fucking selves and putting a stop to that.
But what I'm saying is, like this guy, Matthias Desmet, is making these connections. I mean, this guy he's an educated dude. It's not like he's some random guy that never went to school or something. Yeah. He's an educated dude, and he's studied this type of stuff. So you can say what you will, but he is simply making these connections between the past events that have happened, Nazi Germany and Soviet Union, and what's happening now, and in terms of saying, like, this is the type of stuff that could be happening. And then he gives examples of what the solution is. He gives examples of the lack of sense-making, free-floating anxiety, all this stuff, and how it is very real in life right now. The larger group of socially isolated people, that was very straightforward, done in the beginning. That was the first thing that people did, socially isolate yourself. Which
and literally
you can debate about if that's good or bad.
I don't know why not.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm glad.
No, it is bad. It's the worst punishment.
And it's great. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
before I would be like, oh my god, I need someone like next to me, or I need to be talking to someone. No.
That's literally the worst punishment that you can give someone in prison, is putting them in isolation, though.
Well, yeah.
So, but, I mean, you can draw a string between that and putting everybody in their houses and isolating them. So,
but when you're isolating for something else, I mean, it makes sense. So then for people,
but it's all subjective, it's all debatable.
And all that,
if it even did anything. So,
piece of shit.
What I'm saying is the hospitals are financially incentivized to falsely diagnose COVID deaths. This has been proven. Yes. So they wanted to say that that's a conspiracy theory. That's not a conspiracy theory.
They?
Rolling Stone.
Okay.
So that already puts them on shaky grounds.
Isn't with Rolling Stone anyways, because
but all these doctors put forward that.
Yeah, but the doctors weren't even on Rolling Stone. The doctors are in general. The doctors did that on their own free will.
But the Rolling Stone article is saying what these doctors are saying is the biggest issues with Joe Rogan, are they not?
Well, no, yes, but
saying.
Still,
they're summing it up.
Honey, I got all that stuff from Twitter too. Like, if you go on Twitter, it's like summed up briefly of what had happened, like what the scientists did, like how they wanted Spotify to also to be held responsible or to do something and put a policy for them.
Yeah.
But also for Joe Rogan for having like people and like misspreading information. all that was everywhere. It wasn't just on Rolling Stone. Like Rolling Stone didn't just cover that story, bitch. Like,
right.
So
no, I know.
What's your beef with Rolling Stone?
I mean, Rolling Stone is
because
a shitty, shaky publication,
okay,
anyways.
Yeah, but like, anyways, they had like what they had said on that article in Rolling Stone was still said everywhere else. Like, regardless, like it wasn't changed or like said in a different manner. Like
what the doctors said, that was one of the things, right? One of the things was that the hospitals were financially incentivized. They said in the Rolling Stones article for sure. And I'm assuming
that Malone said that, or that.
No, that the 270 doctors, that's one of the things that they put up as of the conspiracy theories that he was pushing on his podcast, was that hospitals are financially incentivized to falsely diagnose COVID deaths. This has been proven true.
I think so, but that wasn't on this article.
In the Rolling Stones one?
Yeah.
100% it was, yeah. Because that's where I got all my information from. I think you have to show me, because
I did not see that. Yeah, I was looking at it up too.
Claim popular that. Okay, yeah. It's in the second paragraph in here. It's like halfway down. When she watched the interview, she was horrified to see that he espoused various conspiratorial and baseless beliefs. So remember those words, baseless and conspiratorial. From the idea that mass formation psychosis is responsible for people believing in the efficacy of vaccines, and to the claim popular among anti-vaxxers that
I literally read that. I'm so fucking
financially
stupid,
incentivized to falsely diagnose COVID-19 deaths. That's in there, 100%. We just proved they are financially incentivized, because this guy literally said that you can get 3 times the amount of money if you say that somebody has COVID, even if they go in for something completely unrelated to COVID, and you get fucking 8 times the amount of money if you put them on a ventilator. They are financially incentivized. Whether they did it because of that or didn't is out of the question. They are financially incentivized.
I don't think Rolling Stone said anything bad about that. They were just saying like that's.
Yeah, but they brought that up. They said that that's a baseless and conspiratorial belief when it's clearly
one of the
not. It's not
scientists
baseless.
said that she watched the interview. She was just horrified to see how they espoused various conspiratorial and baseless. So
what are you trying to say? You want me to define espoused?
No.
Adopt or support?
That's why. So support. So just saying more conspiracy theory stuff.
But this is not a conspiracy theory. That's the thing. This is not conspiracy. I just told you that.
Just because who proved it too? Like what are you talking about?
What?
Like this is actually proven like everywhere?
Yes, the article. Yes, I just told you. If it's a COVID-19 pneumonia, then it's $13,000 rather than $5,000 for a regular pneumonia. And if that COVID-19 pneumonia patient ends up on a ventilator, it goes up to $39,000. This is from a senator in Minnesota who is also a physician.
When was that article?
Let me get the article.
I don't care what the article is. I just want to say when it was.
It's from USA Today, and it's from, let's see.
Well, this was January 12th. It's January
April 24th, 2020. Today. So it's when it all started.
So 2 years ago.
So this has been going on.
Okay, so that was 2 years ago when those conspiracy things started, and I think it's still not a conspiracy though. Wouldn't it be? Because if they're the scientist is literally saying it.
I don't understand what you're trying to say. Literally, let me just tell you what I am saying is Rolling Stones labeled.
She was making the argument that when she saw all that. That's literally a conspiracy theory still. I don't think that was proven. If that was 2 years ago and Homegirl is still saying it's a conspiracy theory and considering
then she's a fucking idiot. I mean, it was... What do you mean? It's been proven. I just told you the facts from a USA Today article. If it's COVID-19 pneumonia, it's $13,000 rather than $5,000, and you get $40,000 for putting them on a fucking ventilator. This is from April 2020 when everything started. They were putting thousands of people on ventilators. They're responsible for thousands of deaths of people that probably would have been totally fine if they wouldn't went on a ventilator. And this has been going on since the beginning. Now, it probably stopped. This was written into the CARES Act, the big act that was passed in the beginning of COVID that gave people all those checks and everything. It was all under the same thing. So what I'm telling you right now is mass formation psychosis. You can argue that that's more conspiratorial and baseless. Sure, that's okay. I was just trying to open you up to the idea of it by telling you about how Matthias explained it and everything. That's totally fine.
Because Hitler and all that stuff, we've seen it. And it's the same thing with the KKK, all that shit. Like, it's the same thing. It could be considered mass psychosis. And it's not, because it is. that would literally define that right there, mass psychosis, those groups.
Yes.
But saying like the whole people believing in like the vaccine stuff, okay, that I don't think that's.
And
all,
I'm
like,
not standing behind those.
Being numbed in the head and all that shit.
Listen,
they can't think for themselves. No.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not standing behind that claim.
For themselves.
I'm not standing behind that claim. I'm just presenting his ideas to you on this podcast and everybody that's listening. You can do with it as you please. That is for sure more conspiratorial and baseless, for sure. And I will admit to that. And that's totally fine. Yeah. But them lumping in this baseless in quotations remark that hospitals are financially incentivized, that's not a conspiracy. That's proven.
Yeah.
It was in the CARES Act. So that already makes this whole article shaky to me. And that on top of the fact with the whole Horst Wormer bullshit that happened with them before.
Did do that, so I mean, regardless.
No, but them saying that hospitals were overflowing with Horst Wormer overdoses, not allowing gunshot victims, that happened. That was a real Rolling Stones article that was really fucking fake and bogus they put out. So
I'll be real with you. You take Horst Wormer to get better instead of just taking a vaccine.
Then you're a fucking idiot.
You're an idiot.
You're a fucking idiot. No, that's called natural selection to me, okay? I don't care. Take whatever the fuck you want to. If you hear Joe Rogan talking about ivermectin and you take Horst Wormer, that's not on Joe Rogan, dude. That's on you, you fucking dumbass. Yeah, but everybody wants to say that it's on him. It's not. Make up your own fucking mind about things. You just said in the beginning you made up your own mind about it.
Yeah, because I'm not dumb. What the fuck? I mean, for myself, if you don't get vaccinated, I don't think you're dumb. But
there's
honestly,
some dumb fucking people out there.
Come on.
Maybe the world's better off without him. Fuck it. If they want to take fucking Horst Wormer and die, all power to you, buddy. Yeah, but you can't blame fucking Joe Rogan for that, okay? Because he never said a Horst Wormer.
And I'm not blaming him, but like we go back to the beginning, I just agree with the scientists that want to do the whole misinformation thing and like for Spotify to do something because while I also think it's a slippery slope because
for sure,
this to bring up North Korea or whatever, that's them, right? Those that are like hella censored.
China is too. Yeah, they have their whole own internet.
Well, yeah, and it just sucks because, like, imagine if we get there. I don't ever want my porn to be filtered or can't even watch porn or it's like all blurry and shit. Like that's just an example of it. But
this is the start of that.
Well, that's what people think, and that's what people get scared with all these conspiracy theories, like mass psychosis or whatever. And it's dumb because, like I said, you should always just think for yourself and make I don't want to say right choice. But do whatever you think is right to prevent that from happening, whether that be fucking rioting, freedom of speech type shit. But you see,
this took a weird turn.
This
took a weird turn. Rioting.
What do you mean?
Whatever.
Well, because I agree, but I don't know how to explain it. Because some stuff should be censored, but it's hard.
I just think you lose more than you gain with censorship, and that's just sort of where I stand on that. And yeah, some shit should be censored, but people are going to make up their minds
sarcasm,
regardless.
But sarcasm would. You said that it would be part of censorship or something because it could be taken out of context. But
sure, if I call you a faggot on fucking Twitter,
but that's not being sarcastic. That's saying something hateful.
Yeah, but if I do it in a sarcastic manner and you know it's in a sarcastic manner, but they don't know it's in a sarcastic manner, then I get labeled a fucking racist and a homophobe. Yeah,
because I think I'm actually smart enough to not do that online.
But then that just makes people self-censor more and more.
Not really, because it's common sense. Because it's not because then it's just going to be the norm to be like, oh, let me call someone I know a fag online just because I know them. Then that gives everyone that knows like fucking LGBT people
you make
the
up your
right
own
to
mind
do
to
that. That's dumb.
You make up your own mind to do that.
I don't know. I don't think that's the same thing, buddy, because then that's the same thing as going online and me being cool with someone that's black and being like, oh, what's up? No, that's literally the same thing though. Because I'm being sarcastic. It's not?
That's not the same.
How?
I don't know. I'm white, so I don't have any grounds to speak on that, actually. Well, so whatever I say in the past about this, it does matter because I'm white. But I don't know. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
That's how I debunk your argument on that because I don't think...
That's totally fine. Yeah.
I actually had some... okay, well, you guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to rush through this, but I have a good 20 minutes left, I think, before I'm late for work.
Yeah.
But there are some questions that people submitted.
Okay, I'm going to run the bathroom.
Yeah.
Do those.
I guess I'll take over. But the first one we have is, how can I unlike someone? And let me just say that. It's not really that easy, you guys, because fuck. I remember the first time when I had that happen to me and I just didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, I don't want to do this. I do not want to answer these questions.
No?
No.
Why not? It'll be fun. I think this is a fun thing, getting questions sent in. And this is where I'm going to rely on sarcasm real heavy here because I'm naturally a sarcastic person. All right? So what are the questions? Just throw them out. If you don't want to answer them,
let me take a dab because I need to get into this. But, the first one is, how can I unlike someone?
How can you unlike someone? You just got to fucking do it. I mean, there's really not, I don't know. You just got to do it. I mean,
okay, for me,
have to focus on it.
I'm going to be honest with you because, I was going to just say a story, but no, I really cried every day. I just cried every day until I didn't feel like crying anymore. I didn't think I was going to be like, I wake up and I'm still thinking about that person. I think it just got to a point where, not to say like I distracted myself, but I think I was just more focused on myself instead of focusing on them and just thinking about them 24/7, which is really weird now that I look back on it. To be like, oh fuck, like I basically was trying to make someone like me instead of just me being my fucking authentic self. And I think that's what happens with a lot of people that start liking someone is they want to fit their narrative, or I don't know, maybe it's different for everyone, but
yeah, I see what you're saying.
A lot of people get lost in them, like in that person, instead of just fucking living their life normally, and they get all like, oh, how's your day type of thing, da 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 da, and just thinking about them. I don't know, I feel like even asking a question like that, how can I unlike someone, is just like, well, shit, you just focus on yourself. Because
that's literally what I was gonna say. I think the best way to do that is to just not focus so much on trying to unlike that person, but focus more on trying to. I don't know, if you don't like yourself, focus more on trying to like yourself, figure yourself out, and in doing that, you separate yourself from that person in a sense. Because I think it's very true that you can start to become a different person to try and fit what somebody else wants, but that's not necessarily the right way to go about things. I mean, you have to be yourself and be comfortable in yourself. So I think that my answer to that is like, what you said. You gotta just put some time into focusing on yourself, whether it be fucking going on walks, exercising for yourself, meditating, whatever, doing yoga. I mean, whatever, just like reading, just do things that take your mind off that person and bring it more into yourself. Journaling. Yeah,
do things that you like to do before, I don't know, you met that person.
Yeah.
Because I feel like once people meet someone, they just stop doing whatever it was they used to like doing before they met that person. And I know for me, and it brought up a great fucking realization for me that last week when my ex messaged me again, not even ex, some person I used to date messaged me again. I was like, he was talking about he wants to hang out, and I'm like, no. Like, yeah, first I was yes, but then when I got home and was in the comfort of my own home and doing things I liked, I was just like, I don't really want to hang out with you. And I made that on my own, and I realized that, and I was like, fuck, well, that's good, because now I know I'm not actually thinking about other people, more as what I do with my time and how I use my time. Yeah. And I think that's important, friend, and you should probably do that.
And it takes time, literally, too. Don't think that it's going to happen overnight. There's no fucking easy way out of this shit, bro. It takes time. I mean, you just got to fucking fortify up, build your own strength, and slowly but surely you'll get over it.
4-5 months to get over something like that, But shit, sometimes I think,
and it'll always spark back up. Yeah. I mean, come on, it could be 4 or 5 years down the road, and you'll fucking something will see a Snapchat story or see an Instagram post or something.
They'll always come back to your life. So
you just gotta know who you are.
You'll be ready. Maybe you'll realize, shit, I don't really like that person, but focus on yourself.
Yep. Next. These are fun. We should do these more often. If you guys are listening and you have random things that you want to send in, fucking send them to the podcast Instagram.
Yes. You're wrong, at You're Wrong Pod.
Yep.
At You're Wrong _pod.
Link down below. It's not underscore. Nope. Yep.
Next question we have, maybe you might be able to help with this one. Okay. Is my virginity renewed automatically, or do I have to or do I have to manual renew it?
So this is a really interesting question because I think that it used to be you have to go in and you have to stand in line at the DMV and you have to just go get that shit recertified. But now I think there's actually an online place that you can send it in.
You just have to not get your dick wet, basically, or your cookie ate or munched on or whatever, for that to be able to manually renew it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for how long?
I don't think it's ever.
Is it 6 months? It doesn't happen. You're a virgin again, or does it renew overnight when the new year comes?
Well, yeah. So what I had said. There we go. There we go. This is what this person was talking about. I see you. So yeah, it automatically renews every new year. Once it's midnight, you're a virgin. No take backsies. None of that. Whatever happened in the past. Whatever things you caught, sadly, does not stay in the past and comes with you. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Don't stay in the past. Safe sex, you guys. But yeah, in order to manually renew your virginity, let me let you in on a little hack. What is it? What do they call it? No Nut November. Yeah. Basically, you do 30 months. No
30 sex, months. Holy fuck.
Touchy. No cummy.
30 days.
None of that stuff. Did I say 30 months?
31 days or whatever. November.
31 days. Yeah. You basically don't have sex for that amount of time, and you're a virgin again. So, if you happen to do a whoopsies, accidentally his hand slips down there, that's okay as long as it's not a person, right. Another person, you're good. But yeah, that's what I think. Honestly, I think that's fair. 30 days you don't have sex, you're a virgin. I think that's true.
I mean, yeah.
I kind of forget.
I was being sarcastic about this whole thing. I think once you have sex, you're not a virgin anymore. No matter what, no matter how long you don't, you lost that chance. But yeah,
I
for
usually,
the bit, yeah, every new year, yada yada, all that, whatever. Next,
yeah, guys. Okay, right. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say on this one.
I could give advice on this, and I said I was, but
I don't have anything to say on this one because I've never experienced that territory.
Let me see the other one first.
Yeah,
and then we'll save that one for the last one. So, okay, this is a question. So I've been lying to my parents about my relationship, and I've actually been seeing a different person since July. He asked me to move in with him last night. We've been exchanging I love you, and I don't know why the hell I was closing my right eye. And he wants to meet my parents, but my parents think he's just my coworker. Eek. I had to include that. How do I tell my parents I've been lying for almost a year? He wants to meet them in April. Well, bitch.
That's a lot to unpack there.
I mean, them. I can't believe that's even a question, because I was here wondering, honestly, for myself, for the tea on the side, like what had happened with that other person that you were living with.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of glad that this was a question, because damn, I got my answer. I don't know. I would be fucking scared, honestly, because if my parents liked the last person I was dating, which obviously does not happen because my parents are homophobic, even though I probably did tell them the person I was dating, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, who's this? I'll be like, my friend.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay. So that's how I tell them I'm probably dating someone. But I would just be honest, honestly. I wouldn't beat around the bush, especially since you have that person that is your special someone now. It seems like y'all be saying illy and stuff.
Yeah,
I would just go for it, especially if he wants to meet them and he ain't no pussy bitch. Why not? Shit.
I agree.
And if the other guy was like shitty or whatever, then what the fuck? Why you worried? It's okay, girl. Go get your cookie ate.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I mean, I think that the longer that you hold that shit up, it's just going to become worse and worse. And it's going to become harder to approach that situation and bring that situation to your parents for the longer that you hide from it. So,
yeah, I mean, it's so stressful. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, you're living a double life. Stop.
Yeah, so. you just gotta fucking do it. It's uncomfortable, and it's, I don't know. It might take time for the truth to,
Go tell them, bestie. But honestly, moving in and all that, I mean, I don't know, like, as far as that, I don't know. you were asking.
And if you're happy with this person too, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, honestly. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I mean, just have your own stuff, obviously.
Yep.
And be smart about what you do before you move in with someone. That's always my advice, because I remember when I did that, and not to say I regretted it, but I fucking regret it now, because Jesus, it was like walking on fucking eggshells in my own place.
Yeah, it's scary.
So make sure it's not like that for you, and if it's not, then yeah, go for it.
Scary.
But yeah, be honest about it. The last one, now one of my favorite questions, I think. Advice on first time doing anal. Honestly, you guys,
I'm checking out on this one.
I'm literally not even gonna give a fucking story time on this.
Yeah, please don't.
What did I do the first time? Well, you guys, I was on Grindr on my first experience, and looking back on it now, I don't regret it, but maybe I could have been safer. Okay. We did use protection, but I mean safer and like not being on a fucking app. Like, I was
safety is always first.
I was a teen.
Yeah.
So not good for whoever that person was.
Yikes.
But whatever. Still fun nonetheless. Not saying anything bad. Anyways, my advice, really make sure that area is clean. You don't want to be engaging in that and, have dingleberries or something smelly funky down there. It's gross.
Yeah.
Big turn off, gagging, thinking about.
Can't relate.
Oh my God. Yeah. So you say that, but that's another thing for another day. Please make sure everything down, like you prepare with wipes. I always like to have baby wipes. You never know. Not to say like, oh, you never know when you get your ass ate or something. No. But you never know. Like when I'm at work, I always make it a habit. Have wipes. I don't care. I'm not going to be walking at work with a dirty fucking ass. Hey, maybe that's just me, but still, I think it applies for everyone.
PSA, don't flush your wipes. It's bad.
Oops.
It's real bad. Have you not seen those videos?
I only flush them.
That's fucked. Have you not seen those? They fucking clog up sewer drains. It's terrible.
I thought they make them so you can flush
They say they do, but they don't dissolve like toilet paper does.
Well,
you just gotta toss some bitches and
nasty.
hide it in the trash can. Come on.
Yeah, that's nasty. I never do that.
Just fucking
never do that.
Get some paper towels and shove it over the wipe. What?
So, anyways, yeah, or if you have a bidet, invest in a good bidet. Use that before.
Tushy. Shout out Tushy.
I have that.
Really?
Yeah, I have a bidet.
Damn.
I have bidet wipes. I have toilet paper, but I hardly use it.
Damn.
You never know. Right. Honestly, and if we're gonna get really into it, what is it? I don't want to say an enema because I don't think those or enema. I don't think those are actually good to like clean yourself up there with, because I think it's something I don't know. But you need something that goes up, basically up your ass. If we're gonna get into the nitty gritty, get into your hole, clean it, rinse it.
Oh boy.
Go shake yourself up and down, get everything out. Maybe eat a laxative. I don't fucking know. Don't eat. Probably don't eat if you know you're gonna have anal or have some fun with down there. I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah. And that's it. Oh, I'm lying. So also, what you gotta do? You gotta lube it up. You gotta lube the hole up. Get it sensitive. Get it stimulated. Kiss it. I don't know. Pat it. I don't fucking know. Tell it it's cute.
Tell it it's cute. Tell it a bedtime.
Whatever it's gonna get the hole to open up. Poppers help. I don't really approve of those. The
drugs are bad.
LGBT community is wild for them. Poppers, having them everywhere, Jesus, stresses me out. But people use poppers because it opens your hole up, and shit, if that helps you get it in, so do it. But there's other ways, like foreplay is a big thing, making out. Anything, any play down there is gonna help it. Never force it in, because once you force it in, your hole's gonna close, and you'll be like, nope, please don't, get the fuck out. Nah.
Okay.
So I know in experiences where a guy has tried that on me, I'm just like, no, and it's not gonna work. I'm like, so stop. No. I literally won't. I'm not even bothered at that point anymore where someone will try. I'm just like, no, I clench my hole.
Damn.
Just like, no.
Okay. It's good to know.
Give that visual for you guys. Gorilla grip. Close that shit up. Like, no.
Oh my God.
Cannot enter. But I have another one, which is a first time experience, but I think save that one for the next one.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, there was a lot of first ones for this, so.
Yeah, but I think we should keep doing those. Sending questions if you're listening right now and you have a random experience or a question.
Or if you need some advice, you know, we
advice.
could give some advice or some help or guidance.
Yeah. We done?
I don't know. I was going to take another dab, but yeah, I think we're kind of done, guys.
Yeah. That was a good episode, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just want to say really fast, too. I'm not deadass. I'm not educated on a lot of this shit. So props to you even for reading these fucking articles and taking the time to go through them. Because, not to say I wouldn't, but, bitch, a lot of people don't like to do the information or look up the research for themselves. And they just want to point fingers and be like, no, that's incorrect. Right.
Well, that's what I was saying about second, third-hand information where you get it and it's filtered through other people. You just gotta, I mean, the biggest thing is just fucking make up your own mind about things, and you can't just do that through second and third-hand information. You gotta really go to the source, read about it. It takes some work, just like fucking, trying to unlike somebody. It takes some time and it takes some work. It takes some time and it takes some work to figure out the truth about things, or even if it's not the truth, to figure out that that's wrong. That's not actually the way you think about things. You got to flesh these things out. So, yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. So, yeah, we close this bitch.
But yeah, next, I don't know when. I think I'm getting an iPad this week, probably. Bitch, I'm gonna be ready. Because I know you had your little fucking notes next to you. Honestly, I just had tabs open.
Oh, I'm ready to be ready. I'm ready to have these discussions. I'm fucking ready.
Or gossip, because it's fun too. But bye, guys. See you next week.
Adios.
Fuck.